All right, as you may have guessed, we are under the 4Runner. Found a mix of bolts on the skid plate. Not surprising at this age and mileage. Had three 14mm and one 13mm oddball. None of them seemed to be stripped, which is a bonus. And the oil filter housing has a broken tab, not a shocker. And we're going to be replacing that as well. So let's get this draining and we're going to dive into this and get started. All right, when you buy your oil filter, if it's a Toyota filter that you're buying, it will come with this little drain connection right here. I've added some tubing just to make this drain easier, but in this case, I can't get this loose. I held the housing with some oil filter pliers and tried to get this loose, and this is super tight. So we're going to do it this way. You don't have to pull that plug. It just kind of helps reduce the mess. So we should start draining here, or dripping, I should say. And there we go. So I'm going to let this drain, and I'll get this back to the workbench, and I'll show you the comparison of the plastic housing versus the aluminum housing I bought, which is going to go back on here. And if you had the drain tube in there, you wouldn't have the waterfall of oil. It would just drain down the tube and into the drain bucket. It'd be much easier, cleaner. So I'll let this drain and I'll be back. So two problems on this one. Three problems, whatever you want to call it. This was tight, could not get that out without the housing coming loose, and the housing was only barely hand tight. I did not have to use the tool to get that out. So here's a comparison of the aluminum housing versus the plastic. Big debate on this. Is the plastic good enough? Of course it is. It's just not as durable, obviously. So anyway, I'm glad we're changing this. Peace of mind more than anything. This is not a Toyota filter. No idea what that is. So anyway, we're going to have the Toyota filter in here, aluminum housing. So I'm going to get this put back in. We'll start draining the pan. All right, so I did put some oil on the O-ring just to make it go in there easier. So obviously I'm going to start this by hand. Normally, you would use this tool to get the housing loose, but I did not need it. I am going to use it to tighten this. I'm not going to tighten it much. It is a little bit tight to turn by hand now, so I'm just going to use this to get it the rest of the way home. Okay, that's it. All right, so that is in place. And next we're going to drain. Whoops, I need to get a different bucket. That's not enough. All right, let's see. Back here, we'll have the drain plug for the oil pan. Okay, that was not overly tightened. That's great. Now let's see if I can do this without making a big mess. All right, there we go. All right, so I've got the drain plug over here and the crush washer gasket. Why are they called a crush washer? See this lip? They crush when you tighten them, and that's your gasket. So, let's go over here to the crush washer selection, and it should be this one, which is for Toyota. There we go. New crush washer. Always replace those. Sometimes you can reuse them if they're not deformed, but most of the time they're going to be deformed. All right, we're down to a drip. Let's go ahead and get the drain plug in. Get it tight. Hi, Ruby. What are you doing, Ruby? All right. That concludes all of the action underneath. Now let's get into another debate, and that is fluid capacity. So in the owner's manual, we're changing the filter, so we need 6.6 quarts. That's just a touch over 6.5. And another debate is 0W20 versus thicker oils. Now, all over this page, it says 0W20, 5W20 may be used, but if you go to the next page, it also says you can use 020, 520, 530, 10W30, all the way up to 15W40. Now, it says if you use 10W30 or higher viscosity and extremely low temperatures, it may become difficult to start. So you can run what you want to run. I'm going to stick with, I think I've got 5W20 on the shelf, and I've got some 0W20, so I may have to do a little mixture. So anyway, for those that are confused on what weight oil to use, you can run whatever you want, really. So anyway, there's your fluid capacity. If you're not changing the filter, which I'm not sure why you would not change the filter, but 6.6 quarts. So here we go. All right, so what I've got, contrary to what the owner's manual says, I'm not using genuine Toyota oil. I am buying this, or using this oil I picked up at Walmart. And why is because most of these oils come from the same refinery. So this is 5 quarts of 0W20. This is synthetic. And here we go. So that does that. And we just got a BJ's Wholesale here in East Tennessee, where we live. And I picked up some 5W20 by accident, but I'm going to use it. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Okay, so that puts us at 6. Now we need 0.6. So on the quart bottle, so full up here is 800 and I believe 1,000, or technically 946 milliliters, but we're going to take this down to about the 400 mark. If you go over, it's okay. All right, so we're about a little under 300, so we're good to go. Hi, Ruby. All right, so I'm going to start this up. Oops, it will drop. This would also be a good time to do a visual inspection while you're under there. Just make sure there's no leaks or anything else that needs attention. So let's start this up. Check for leaks. All right, so here's the part number for the oil filter. That will come with 2 gaskets, one for the housing and one for the drain plug. These are the O-rings that came with the aluminum housing. I did change those out with the Toyota O-rings. Now, do something else. When you do your service, keep a log. Because when you do this, you may not be looking to sell your 4Runner one day, but someday you will. And somebody's going to ask if it was serviced. And if you just say, yeah, I serviced it, they're not going to believe you. So if you keep a log, at least you can throw something in front of them and say, hey, here's my maintenance log. This is what I did. These are the dates. This is the mileage. And you've got something to back it up. So anyway, changing oil is one of the easiest things you can do to maintain your vehicle. It is not difficult. A little common sense, simple tools, and off you go. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one. How about another tip? Rather than use those rectangular short drain pans, less mess. Man, when these things get 6 or 7 quarts in them, they are hard to carry. And what I've found to make things so much easier is a 10-quart bucket. And that's what I use. It's got a nice little carry handle, and it's not tippy. When it's full, you can carry it easily. And I just cleaned it out. After using it, I like to keep my stuff clean, and I clean it with Brake Clean. I do like to use the non-flammable type because we have an open flame heater in the garage. Not that it matters in the summer, but so anyway, if you're tired of those tippy, short, rectangular drain pans, get a bucket, man. So much easier. I wish I'd done this years ago.